talk to like a manager or something for 5 minutes?
You go to university?
Yeah, I got my ID if you want me to.
Yeah. Here, why don't you guys come in?
Sure. Thank you very, very much.
All right. I want to interview you. You want to interview me?
Yes.
On video?
Yeah.
What do you want to know about the company?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. We're a telecommunications company.
Okay.
All right. See these phones right here that are in front of you?
Yeah.
Basically, every business has phones on their desk, whether it's a doctor's office, small,
Okay.
whether it's the refineries on the turnpike that you see all the smokestacks, they all have users. So we do work where we actually do the cabling inside, from the network room to the jacks on the wall. Then we program the telephone system, and we place all the sets on the desk, and there you go.
So we sell marine hardware, all the shiny parts that go on boats. So we sell them to people who build boats, people who distribute parts for boats all throughout the United States, into Canada, Caribbean islands.
Is it more on the commercial side or more like individual?
No, it's not consumers, not you and me. It's more commercial.
Okay.
Okay.
It's B2B.
Nice, great.
We ship to consumers, but through B2B businesses. So for instance, we supply Amazon.
Okay.
And we'll supply other people like Amazon, who will then ship directly from our warehouse to the customer. But for the most part, we ship. The bigger part of our business is shipping directly to people who build stuff, and then people like retail outlets. There's distributors around the country. That's who we ship to.
When I got into this business, I was blue-eyed, with blonde hair. And the food business will take you down a few steps.
You don't look too bad right now.
You look amazing right
Yeah,
now.
you're very sharp.
We're a partner with one of the factories in China. We do outsource other stuff too. But to answer your question, I forget who asked. We don't do any direct importing. That's called direct importing.
Okay.
Direct importing is that if we're building this, and we said, okay, you had to buy 1,000 of these.
Yeah.
You put 1,000 in a container, and that container would go directly to the customer.
Okay.
We would just work the paperwork and everything like that.
Okay.
That was actually what traditional importing was back 35 years ago. Nowadays, you can't do that because the volumes are too high. You have to be able. People want to turn their inventory more, and that's what's created competition. That's created massive competition in the industry.
Do you like this industry?
Yeah, I like it because it's the boating industry, and I grew up around boats. So I found something that I love. So even though it's just selling a widget.
Right.
You guys know that. I mean, you can sell any widget. This. It just depends if you love getting up and doing it every day, because you'll find out one day you'll go to work, and one day you'll wake up and say, God, I hate this.
Right.
And then you want to go do something else, and that's kind of why I wanted to come work with with my dad. And my dad got started in this business because he couldn't stand doing what he was doing before. And so that's where, the American entrepreneur becomes a reality.
A lot of our folks travel, myself included. We go out and do plant trials at various bakeries around the country. If the baking industry is big, it's varied, it's variety, and it's a moving target.
How do you guys find customers, or do the customers come to you guys for?
Multiple ways. We have a website, we have catalog,
Okay.
we have salesmen located around the country, and then we have obviously internet is probably one of the biggest things.
Okay.
Not really through social media. The only not using Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. It's usually just through traditional business methods.
You feel you have strong relationships with your customers?
Oh, yeah.
You feel like it's pretty positive?
Absolutely. You want to call them?
Sure. Who you call?
You got to use this one.
Time ago.
Do you have strong relationships with those certain customers?
Customer base is very small, but they happen to be the largest multinationals in the world.
By far.
How do you like dealing with businesses as opposed to consumers? Like, is it more
Businesses are much better than consumers.
Is it more
Consumers
professional?
suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, consumers stink because consumers are we're the worst, and I'm one of them.
We all are.
I'll take this box, I'll take this piece, and I had broken. My kid broke this, or whatever, and I'll go out and get another one and take it out of the box, put the broken one in, and I go, came broken, and return it. And what the retail store does, he takes it back. He doesn't say anything. He just takes it back, and all of a sudden, I just got a replacement part for free. And it's a terrible thing, but it's one of the problems. That if they don't take it back, if that retail store doesn't take it back, then you're gonna be mad at them, and you're not gonna go back. You're not gonna sell the stuff. You're not gonna buy more stuff from them. So they'd rather just take it back. And then what do? they take it back and they give it back to me.
So it really hurts you.
So it really hurts me, but that's the cost of doing business. Why do you think prices got so high in this country? Because you have to factor in insurance.
Do you keep long-term relationship with your customers?
Is it a lot of repeat kind of?
Yes. Both answers is yes. There's a lot of repeat business, there's a lot of long-term relationships. That's where we're selling, because we're selling parts that get reused. They break, and then the person has to buy them again.
How do you communicate with that, your company online?
Very difficult.
Do you reach out to them, or is it more of them reaching out to you saying, "We'd love to have your product on our, on our site"?
Interesting story. I was at a trade show, and a very simple-looking guy came up to me and approached me, and he had his badge reversed, so no one would know who he was. And presented me his card. Yep, he presented me his card, and he said, and it said Amazon marketing, and I was like, are you with Amazon? He goes, no, I am Amazon. I'm like, you're Amazon? He's like, yeah. He's like, I just don't want anybody knowing about me. He goes, and I found out. He goes, I saw your stuff online, your teak online. He goes, and I want to buy your teak. And that's how he approached me, and that's how we got started. And
Wow.
It literally happened within a week. We approached them. They gave us a whole giant spreadsheet that we had to fill out, all information. And now we just communicate with them via email.
How do you like it so far?
So far, I'm like a tree, man. I got roots in the ground.
And you think it's a different kind of atmosphere working with businesses as opposed to working with like individual residences?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to say the technology is different, but it's just different, you know.
Is there a lot of competition?
Yes, everywhere.
How do you combat that? Like, what sets you
What's
apart?
like kind of your competitive edge then? Like, how would you?
My father started the business. He made it very simple. He just wanted to make money so he could pay his
Family.
bills and feed his family. So he just started out with basic things, quality product at a good price, and to try and have it when you need it.
Okay.
And even that's been 35 years ago, we still use the same mission. Because it's just that simple. Business can change, but business doesn't change. As long as you give somebody a good product, you're wearing a nice coat. That coat cost you some money. You may have found that coat at Kmart or at Lord & Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay. But the difference in the price would have been extravagant, but I'll guarantee you the difference in the quality was probably not that much. It was probably very similar. And it just depends. So to answer your question, is that you compete based upon different values depending on what the customer needs. Sometimes your businesses, we're a small business, so a small business can adjust. It's kind of like a diner. You go to a diner and you want eggs. They say, how do you want them? But if you go to a fancy restaurant in New York or New Brunswick, for instance, they go, here's your eggs. This is how you're getting them. This is the only way you're going to do it.
So you have more flexibility.
So you
more.
have to be flexible. You have to be flexible.
Need a tour?
I actually do.
There's our big screen TV from back when you guys were like not even born, before they became. So
Flattened.
here, I'll show you something funny here. This is just a small little piece because we're a small company. You see, this is like.
That's your telecommunications for here?
Yeah, this is our phone system here. Here's kind of the wiring, and behind it is a bunch more wires.
So this is the this is the source.
So someone has to sit here all day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that's
Facebook
what.
computer?
Yeah. Here's our lab where most of the magic happens. This is where we do a lot of our prep stuff to get everything working before we bring it out to the customer.
Oh, okay.
So cool.
And where we do our testing, when we have no service calls to go home, we might sit in here and do some work.